Kevin Case here with Marcus White for CitrusTV after Syracuse falls in the quarterfinals to Johns Hopkins 16-15 here in Annapolis, Maryland. And Marcus, Syracuse trailed by 4 goals with less than a minute left. But the Orange almost came all the way back.
Should we be surprised? This is a team that's made a lot of furious comebacks this season. Came back late against Notre Dame at Notre Dame, late against North Carolina at North Carolina. But like that North Carolina comeback, this one falls short. It just seemed like there was just a little too many goals they were letting in, down 4 late. I thought they were going to get it up until that last face-off when Ben Williams lost it. But you got to say that the Syracuse offense did their part today.
SU scoring 3 goals in just 33 seconds, but coming up just short here this afternoon. And Marcus, part of the reason was the performance of Johns Hopkins goalie Eric Schneider. He was fantastic this afternoon.
It was definitely frustrating, the Syracuse offense. It seemed like at times they were pressing a little too much, forcing those crease passes. I think that contributes to a lot of Syracuse's turnovers today, but Schneider was big. He made all the big saves that he needed to. Coach Petramala really credited him for that big win, and Syracuse definitely tipped their caps to him after that one. Wardwell, though, was not too shabby on his own. 14 saves, unfortunately for Syracuse. Could not get that extra save that gave Syracuse the win.
Talked about pressing a little bit on offense. SU with 12 turnovers on the day to Johns Hopkins, just 6. Kevin Casey with Marcus White after SU falls 16-15 to Johns Hopkins. And lastly, Marcus, on defense for SU, the Orange struggled to contain the Stamwicks for Johns Hopkins. They had good days this afternoon.
Each of them had 6 points today, and I think a big reason why, and Coach Desko talked about it after the game, was Syracuse's off-ball defense. They seemed a little slow to react to some of Johns Hopkins' passes, and Johns Hopkins talked about how they were actively trying to get Syracuse moving on defense, working the ball around and creating mismatches. It seemed like the Stanwicks, every time they had a ball, they had a short stick on them and had an advantageous matchup, and Syracuse just couldn't stop them.
Syracuse unable to stop Johns Hopkins this afternoon. Their season is over, Marcus. Going forward, SU loses a lot of starters for next season.
5 of 6 starters on offense. They lose their starting goaltender, 1 of their starting defensemen. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Desko rebuilds, or reloads, I should say, this Syracuse team. It seems like every year they lose a lot of talent, but they still rebound. Fortunately, unlike other years recently, this seems like this was Syracuse's best chance at a national championship on paper. It'll be interesting to see how Syracuse tries to replace those players and how they rebuild going into next season.
Next season is what we're talking about now, because for the 5th time in 6 seasons, Syracuse Lacrosse will not be playing on Final Four weekend. The Orange loses 16-15 to Johns Hopkins in the quarterfinals. From Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland, I'm Kevin Case. He's Marcus White for CitrusTV. Thanks for watching.